Hi guys, it's Kiarko here, back with another speed build, and today we're building a very, very cool, very luxurious Art Deco inspired loft apartment. Honestly, I am so freaking happy with how this turned out. It's probably one of my favorite builds I've done ever. And I think part of the reason for that is I haven't really tried to do Art Deco before because it's a very opulent aesthetic. It's very, sometimes can be kind of difficult to capture because it's so iconic, you know? So I actually have never done Art Deco before. So I'm really excited to see what you guys think of this and what you guys, think of Art Deco in general. People tend to like it. I think, like I said, it's pretty iconic. People think of the 20s of these intense gold opulent buildings and all these details and just really cool stuff. And that's kind of what I was trying to capture, in this build. I did use the new, what's it called? The maximalist stuff pack. I don't even remember what it's called. But it was kind of the perfect pack for this because it had a lot of, like I said, very loud, luxurious, opulent accessories, especially the carpeting and the walls. I used that all over this particular build. So if you're going to download this build into your game, please keep in mind that I use that pack a lot. So you're probably going to have that, if you want this pack looking, as Art Deco as it does. But basically the way this is set up is we kind of have this first floor, living room area that has this double level ceiling height, as you can see here. And we're gonna have this really big cool chandelier, and we're gonna have all these little details and stuff. This is a 2-bedroom home. There is a third room that's a study that you could convert into another bedroom if you needed it. I didn't really imagine that this was a family apartment, to be honest. I imagined it was more I don't know, Hollywood movie stars living here, by themselves or with a partner. Maybe it's a group of friends or something. I don't know. I wasn't really imagining little kids running around this apartment. It just seems too much, I think, for a child. I don't know. I feel if I was a kid who lived here, I would just be overwhelmed constantly because it's just a lot of patterns, a lot of really gold, blingy things and stuff like that. So I feel it's not really a family apartment. Definitely more for the adult lifestyle is what I imagine. Probably a lot of dinner parties here and stuff like that. A lot of social gatherings and events. This place would be perfect for that. So please let me know what you think of this build. And if you have any cool build name ideas, let me know. Anything Art Deco, 1920s inspired would be absolutely perfect. I don't know, the Gatsby loft or something like that. If you guys ever seen Great Gatsby the film, I actually really like that movie. It's a Baz Luhrmann film, I believe. And it's just so cool, and I really like that movie, so I highly suggest checking out if you haven't. I actually have not read the Great Gatsby book, which I think was probably very surprising for a lot of people because I think it's one of those texts that's usually required in high schools. This is this is a stupid subtle brag, but I was in honors level English classes, so ironically, because I was in the higher level English classes, they skipped the usual readings that you would do in high school, and we did super what's the word, underground really random readings instead, which was fun and I appreciated it, but I definitely missed out on a lot of classics because of that. So I actually haven't read a lot of classics, Great Gatsby being one of them. So I feel maybe I should have read it before I did this build and just gotten into the the 1920s mindset, but let me know if you guys think that book is worth reading. I'm sure it is. It's a classic, like I said. But not super related to this build, just kind of time period, related. But yeah, I mean, Art Deco is what I was going for here, but there's definitely a lot of other inspirations, there's definitely a lot of modern touches here, a lot of more antique touches too, you could see with those, wall lights right there. And I don't know, just definitely very maximalist inspired. As you can see, this building is it's got a lot of stuff going on. So let me know if what does this make you think of? Because Art Deco was what I was going for, but it could definitely be a lot of other stuff. So, if you guys have any design insight, let me know, because I love talking about design, and this build in particular, I think we could have a lot to talk about. Especially this huge marble staircase in the middle of the room. I love that. It's so grand and opulent and luxurious. You're gonna hear me say the words opulent and luxurious a lot during this build. It's just kind of what I was thinking when I was building this, and it's just my mantra when I was building this, so yeah, that's what this build is. Opulent, luxurious. It's probably gonna be in the title somewhere of the video. But as you can see, the way we're kind of setting up this living room is we have this divider down the middle, which I kind of adjust later on. And the reason I did that is because this whole living room section in general was just really just large, just a lot of open empty space. And the thing about me is I actually don't really like open floor plans, which maybe that's controversial, I don't know, because I feel open floor plans were kind of all the rage rage as we were entering like the 2010s. Like people always were talking about open floor plans, you know, tearing down walls and just opening everything up. And I still see that all the time, you know, like online when people are talking about how they renovate their homes and stuff. And I get it. And I think sometimes it's definitely the right choice and it definitely works sometimes. But I don't feel like it should be like the go-to choice. I don't feel like it should just be like, oh, of course it has to be open floor plan. You know, I feel like that's a very intentional thing to do. And I think people should think about it more before they do that. I don't know. For me, I don't know. I like doorways. I like walls. I like things to hang art on. I like, you know, moldings, crown moldings, and like baseboards, stuff like that. I feel like walls add or have the opportunity to add a lot of like character to a home. And I also feel like open floor plans just I don't like just like having a lot of empty space just out in front of me. I don't know what it is. I feel like maybe it's like a safety security thing. Like I like feeling like enclosed by walls. And you know, honestly, that may just be the way I grew up, because I grew up in a home that was like kind of like a how do I describe this? We didn't like have like a lot of windows. Like we did, but the majority of the house was like on the inside of the house. And like our windows had like like balconies on top, so everything was very shaded and enclosed and very like, it was like a very small little apartment. So maybe that's just like the way I grew up, that maybe I don't like open floor plans because of that, because I feel more comfy and safe in like more enclosed environments. But let me know how you guys feel about open floor plans. Some people love them, some people absolutely hate them. I think you know, there's a time and a place, and it really, really depends. In this particular apartment, I wasn't digging the open floor plan. I needed to close some things off. We do keep like parts open. Like I said, we have that double height section in the living room, so we have like these really tall ceilings, which gives us like huge opportunities for chandeliers and curtains and stuff like that. But you know, not in every room. Just let me know what you guys think. Because it's been a while since we chatted. I didn't post a video last week. I'm really sorry about that. It's just honestly, school and my schedule, it just got so overwhelming this past week. And this week as well, but I knew I needed to get a video out, and I was doing this build and I absolutely loved it, and I wanted to get it to you guys as soon as possible. So here we are today. Happy Sunday, you guys. But yeah, again, I'm very, very sorry about that. It's not really like me to miss uploads. In fact, I think it might be the first time I've like had an unplanned like upload, you know, skip. So that was not, it didn't make me feel great. So I'm very, very sorry about that, you guys. And let me know, you know, what did you do this past week that I missed out on? You know, I know there's like some new Sims news and stuff, like they're doing some updates and they're like, I don't know, adding things, changing things. You know, I'm not really in the world of like Sims news. I'm mainly just kind of like keep in my lane and just like focus on my builds. And I know there's always like controversies and like the Sims team always either messes up or they do something like so amazing. I haven't really noticed any changes in the game, so like maybe it's just like gameplay changes and I'm missing out on them. But let me know if you guys have like any insight into, you know, new Sim stuff, or anything I should be looking out for. Let me know. But yeah, so in this build, there's a lot of different rooms. Like I said, there's a study and 2 bedrooms on the second floor, and then on the first floor, there is this dining room. We're doing the kitchen right now. There's also like a separate like media room, which we'll do later on. There's the living room. There's like a little laundry room. This place is freaking massive, you guys. So definitely someone very, very rich lives here. Like I said, I kind of imagine like an old Hollywood kind of like movie star. Definitely very like Art Deco inspired like this. Like the movie star that came with the Get Famous pack. What's her name? I don't remember her name. You know, like the blonde movie star lady who lives in the big mansion. Her. I feel like she would live here, or someone like her. So that's our kitchen. It's a very simple kitchen. I was like, I don't know, luxurious kitchens are kind of hard to do because it's such a utilitarian space, because it has a very specific purpose, and it's a space that requires like a lot of like water and trash and food piles and stuff like that. It's kind of a messy space. So luxurious kitchens are a little bit hard for me at this point. I hope I get better at them in the future. So this one's a little bit more low-key of a kitchen, but I promise you there's a lot of other luxurious spaces in this house. The media room that we're gonna do pretty soon is like one of my favorites. So let me know what you guys think. Like, what is your favorite room in this house when we get to the end of this video? Because like each room I was trying to do like add different things. As you can see, I mean, we kind of are sticking with a pretty strict color palette right now. I do add in a little bit more color later on. But I was trying to like give each room its own like little pizzazz, you know, like this room in particular, like this entrance space, surrounded by like these marble based like mirrors. So when you walk in, it's like this cool like mirror room. And like I said, this is like an entrance, so it's like the entry into the house. There's little seats there in case someone needs to like wait for someone to get home, or like there's a meeting or something like that. They could do it right here in this little room. This build is available for download on my Patreon. You can go check it out. There is some custom content in this build. I used very minimal, so the only custom content really is like a rug and like some mirrors and stuff. And I've been trying to do that recently just to make my builds more manageable for download, because you guys know me, I'm a custom content fiend. When I'm not controlled, I vomit custom content on my builds. But I mean, like, what can I say? Custom content builders, they're too amazing. They're too good. I can't help it. But in this particular build, and in a lot of my builds recently, I've been trying to minimize my custom content, so it's a lot more accessible and useful for you guys. Speaking of which, if you guys, do end up putting this in your game and playing with this, I would love to see. So check out the Discord. It's linked down in the description below. Or, comment, whatever you guys end up doing in the game. I would love to hear, love to see. And if you guys have any future ideas for videos, challenges, builds, characters, anything at all, let me know as well. You guys know the spiel by now. I say this spiel every single video, so you guys know what I'm looking out for. This is the media room I was talking about. It looks a little bit different, we're skipping around right now, but when we get back to the media room, it looks a little different right now than it's gonna look at the end. So if you're hating it right now, I don't blame you. Don't worry, I hate it too, and we change it in just a second to look a lot more cool. So originally, the idea for this room was like marble, like a big marble like box, but the marble was a little overwhelming and I wasn't loving it. So what we end up doing is create this like accent marble wall, and we actually changed that marble to like a black marble pretty soon. It looks really cool. Then we add in all these little details and accessories, and we start bringing in this like turquoisey like blue color into this build, and we don't like bring it in very strongly. We just kind of like have dashes of it throughout the house as like an accent color, and I was very happy with that choice because it's a very it's a controversial color for me. Like turquoise blue, like as you can see, like those windows on the outside of this building, very intense turquoise blue. I don't always love this color and I always hesitate to use it, but in this particular build it actually worked quite well, and I was very pleasantly surprised by that. So we're gonna start adding that in. But as you can see, the media room is, starting to find its, its attitude and its personality, I guess. And it looks really, really cool. The reason we have a media room is because there's no TV in the living room, so I wanted a space for Sims to watch TV, which is a pretty important gameplay sometimes. And I didn't want a TV in the living room because I just wanted like a really cool like grand fireplace, and I wasn't like really feeling like the modern tech in the space. So we kind of shunted the TV off into its own little space here. But I feel like that's a thing. Isn't that a thing in like rich people houses? Like, they'll have like a living room with no TV, and then they have like a separate media room for TV watching. I feel like that's something that I've like read or seen somewhere. So I'm gonna pretend that this is a real thing, even if it's not. But let me know what you guys think of this media room. We're gonna add in some vases or vases for some added detail. I love this style, like this 1920s like grand opulent Art Deco. It's just so fun to do. Like this is like I don't know what's been going on with me with my builds recently. I feel like maybe I've gotten stuck into a little bit of a rut with like doing the same kind of styles and the same kind of like tones. And don't get me wrong, I've been loving my builds recently. I just feel like I haven't really been experimenting that much, which I feel like building is the perfect time and place to do it as a designer, So I feel like I'm gonna try to start experimenting in my builds more, like trying new different like techniques and tools and little things like that. And I did that a lot in this build. I was trying a lot of new things, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. So let me know if you guys have any like tips or tricks that I could try, like new things, that you haven't seen in my builds before, ways to use the tool mod, which I use a lot, or anything like that, because I'm trying to learn more about this game. I was thinking about this author Malcolm Gladwell recently. If you guys have heard of Malcolm Gladwell, he wrote this book called Outliers. But I was listening to a lecture of his on YouTube, and he was talking about this concept of 10,000 hours, how it takes a person like 10,000, and I don't think this is his concept, I think this was someone else's, I don't remember. but the concept is it takes like 10,000 hours to become like a master of something, right? And I was thinking about like how many hours I've racked up in The Sims, and I was trying to like count it all, because currently on this computer, I think it's like 5,000 hours. That seems incorrect. Maybe like 2,000, something like that. It's like up there. And then on my old computer, it was something like 2,000 or 3,000. And then on my other old computer, it was like even more than that. So I don't know if I've hit my 10,000 hours yet, or was it 100,000 hours? Maybe not. I don't know. You guys should not listen to me when I talk about anything that actually has importance in the world. But something like that. I was trying to figure out whether or not I like had racked up enough hours to be a master, quote unquote, in this game, in terms of like building and stuff. And I don't know. And even if I did rack up enough hours, like I don't know if I would consider myself a master of this, because I feel like I haven't explored enough like different techniques and tools, you know? Like I've played this game a lot, but I'm still like discovering and learning new tips and tricks like all the time. And you know what helps is that the Sims team also, you know, sometimes adds new things in build mode, so sometimes they add stuff that lets me learn new stuff. So I don't know if I would consider myself a master of this yet or not. I hope to one day to be like a total like sim guru and you know, who I know everything about building. But currently that's not the case, not yet. Maybe someday. But you know, I do feel like at the very least, I'm very passionate about building. I build all the time, and I love it very, very much. And if I'm not building The Sims, you know, in real life, you guys know I'm studying interior design currently, and that's kind of like my goal and my passion in life, and that's what I'd like to do, you know, with my life, is be a interior designer / interior architect. And I love it. I love it so much. And this game is just a wonderful like way to do it casually, you know? So if you're someone who is interested in interior design and architecture, like absolutely play this game. Like I think this game helps a lot, you know, in so many different ways, because it can help you figure out, you know, just aesthetics, like just figuring out what you like to see in spaces. Color palette is a huge thing too, especially if you have like a reshade mod that allows you to like tweak your screen colors, and you can figure out, you know, what color palettes you like and the way things look. It can help you figure out space planning. It can help you figure out, you know, like the way like a sim, which is supposed to be, you know, like the same dimensions as an average human being, how they would look in the space, how they would move around the space. So if you're interested in that, I highly suggest just honestly just playing around with this game and seeing, just like flexing your design muscles, because this is a very casual, not intense way to practice. So if you guys have any other recommendations for like other architecture design games, let me know, because I love this stuff, and I would love to keep doing this stuff like in many many different forms. And I actually do play a lot of other games. I play Stardew Valley is one that I've mentioned before. I love Stardew Valley. It's been a hot sec since I've played it. It's one of those games where like if I pick it up, I'll play it like 4 hours a day for like 5 months straight, and then I'll put it down and not touch it the rest of the year. It's one of those games where either you're, you know, playing it constantly, or you're just like not playing it at all. And that honestly is kind of the way I am, like really with all games. Like with Animal Crossing, it's the same thing, where if I pick it up, I'll play it like super intensely, or I can't play it at all. And I play some other games. I play Planet Zoo sometimes. I play Don't Starve, which is pretty fun. That's less of like a building game. It's more like a survival game. I'll play like management, like business tycoon games, and those are always fun too. Anything that involves any level of like design or management, I just love it. I love it so much. I think my brain was just like built for like organization, because that like kind of like is a lot of what design is. It's just like organizing space and your brain, and organizing colors and aesthetics. It's just a lot of that, you know, and I think my brain is just like super highly organized, maybe to like a problematic point where like I just like am a little bit uptight of a person, but you know, I love doing this stuff. So if you guys have any game recommendations, let me know as well, because I'm always looking for new ones. Yeah, we are on the upstairs level now. We are we're not finishing the build right now, but we're getting it done with this upper level. So this is our second bedroom. You just saw me put together the first bedroom. You know, I think the first bedroom is probably the master bedroom. I wasn't like really thinking like too deeply about it. They both have like connecting bathrooms, so I don't think it really matters. The other one has like a walk-in closet though, so that's why I think that one is the main bedroom, and this one is more like this one might be like a guest bedroom, I imagined. So like I figure like you'd have like 1 or 2 Sims living here, though it is such a big space. You know, to be honest with me, like I don't really want that big of a house, you know? Like, I've thought about this a lot. Like, I definitely want a place where I'll have, like, more space than I do currently, because I live in, like, a tiny little box place right now. But, like, like a big old mansion loft like this, especially if you're only living with, like, one other person, I don't know, it's too much. Too much to clean, too much to, like, take care of. And if I was, like, alone in the house, I'd definitely be, like, a little bit scared walking around, you know? A little bit paranoid. But that's probably just because I watch too many scary movies. So I don't know. I don't think I'm like a big house kind of person. I think I would like a tiny little space that just has pretty much everything I need, and maybe like a garden, and that's about it. That's about all I need. So if you guys are the same way, let me know. And if you're not, if you're someone who wants a big old mansion, I don't blame you, I understand. But I'm just not the same way, I guess. Anyways, our last room in this house is our study, which as you can see is very, very grand. You walk in, you have this like huge marble, backsplash behind you. Kind of looks like a supervillain's office a little bit, with this like intense marble and like with all these like luxurious details and stuff. Again, like I imagine it probably would be like a Hollywood movie star, or like some very like fancy like business person who has like very good taste, I guess, or at least I mean, I'm patting myself on the back right now, but someone I think would have like super intense luxurious taste would live here. I don't know, you could have like an evil like corporate sim living here, like a fashion villain or something, like like Cruella de Vil or something like that. Definitely you could do that here too. So let me know if you guys end up having this in your game. If you use it, I would love to see, and it is available now on my Patreon for download, so check that out in the description down below. And yeah, that is this week's build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, let me know if you have any requests or ideas for future builds. I'll be posting again next Sunday, and I've been doing this mini series on the side called Sim Stories, where I just like make these little like short little films. So if you guys have any ideas for like a Sim story or like a little film like that, let me know as well. But yeah, I hope you guys had a wonderful past 2 weeks, because I didn't talk to you last week. I'm very sorry about that again. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week this upcoming week. I have a very busy week, as I always do. You guys know I am a busy bee. I cannot help it. I'm sorry. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.